Some of you, we already know somewhat unaligned with the commandments of God. It seems, and they added some of it. This is what's there. For hundreds of years, people were looking at the law of Moses, and they developed certain traditions. They developed certain practices that are somewhat close to the law of Moses, but the truth is, it's not. But because the pattern is somewhat similar to the law of God given to Moses, they tried to incorporate it in their regular practices and was expecting people to do the same. So the Pharisees, the religious leaders, they were telling people, this is what you're going to do. You're going to fast every week. But when we look at the law of Moses, there's not actually a direct command that tells the people to fast weekly. Actually, the only direct command in terms of fasting was only once a month or once a year in the Day of Atonement. So this was what God was telling Moses, that's the only thing that they should fast for. But because the religious leaders found it necessary that they would fast every week, they required the people to fast. And so it's tricky, isn't it? It's on the same page, it's in the same pattern, but the truth is it's really not. Jesus was approached by some people and was asked why his followers, at that time Jesus already asked his disciples, Matthew, Peter, they were all following along Jesus already at that time. And so the people asked Jesus, why are your followers not fasting? Why are your followers not doing what we're doing? It seems odd because you're proclaiming you're God, but you're not doing godly stuff. Right? People were asking Jesus. He was being challenged by Jesus. He's being surrounded by the people. Verse 19 and verse 20 of the same chapter, Jesus answers them. He said, can the wedding guest fast while the bridegroom is with them? As long as they have the bridegroom with them, they cannot fast, Jesus said. The days will come when the bridegroom is taken away from them, and then they will fast in that day. So this scripture that we have read, this scripture that we're at right now, it points to fasting. It points to a religious practice. Jesus gave them an analogy, the people who were asking him, in the form of a wedding. Right? Sayang wala si jelly wedding. Right? The guests celebrated and eat when they were with the bride and the groom, isn't it? Probably all of us have attended a wedding already. Most of the weddings, they have a reception, right? After ceremony, they will feed us. The bride and the groom will feed us good food, great food, a lot of food. Most of the time, it's expected that you would go to the reception as well. It's an insult sometimes when, you would just go to the ceremony and you won't even attend the reception anymore. And so, Jesus was giving an analogy to the people as he answered their question, why are people not fasting? He gave them an analogy about a wedding. When you go to a wedding, Jesus said, you eat when the bride and the groom are with you. And the moment you stop eating is when they are gone. And Jesus was telling his disciples that he's the bridegroom. I'm with my disciples right now. And therefore, it's no point that they would fast. But they will fast when I am no longer with them. We all know this. Jesus will later on be crucified, but he will be resurrected, and he will ascend back to heaven. And that's what happened. And we would come across here too in verse 21. No one sews a piece of clothing